Tennessee Senator and member of the Senate Judiciary, Finance, Commerce, and Veterans Affairs Committee, Marsha Blackburn. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And joining our conversation all morning long, a lot to talk with Iraq War veteran and Stop Woke founder Rob Smith. Francis Newton-Stacy is here, and Mark Tepper is here with me on set. Senator Blackburn, so much to get with you today, but finally we're now getting to let's hold hearings. Let's start to get to the origins of COVID and what happened in the Wuhan lab. What did you make of the testimony that we got from Robert Redfield, and also what did you make of the hearings so far?
I think that the House should be really commended for moving forward with these hearings and beginning to shed some light on exactly what happened. And from Dr. Redfield, what we really learned is that there was a narrative that they had created, that Dr. Fauci had created. He was going to pull together enough information that would support his narrative and was going to prohibit and thwart any effort to look into the Wuhan lab. They had to basically say, okay, let's take the lab out of this equation. Let's not allow a look at this. And this is, Cheryl, even though our diplomatic scientists had been telling us there were issues with this lab, even though EcoHealth Alliance was helping finance this, and they were basically the ones who were funneling the money from NIAID, Dr. Fauci's organization, to the lab and participating in this gain-of-function research. I think the more we learn, the more we see Dr. Fauci is someone who thought, oh my goodness, this may be going south on me. Let's see how we can develop a cover-up. And we may look back at this in time and call this the COVID cover-up, and what it did to disadvantage the American people and what it did to disadvantage our looking into exactly where did COVID come from, how did it get to be this virus that was so highly contagious, and did this actually come from the lab? Why were the warnings not heeded by people that were working in the lab?
Yeah, I've got Rob Smith with me on set today, Senator, and I want to bring up this issue for both of you to react to. This was Marine Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews. He testified before the House committee yesterday. He said his warnings of an ISIS suicide bomber were ignored. I want both of you to listen to this.
Pointedly, we asked him for engagement authority and permission. We asked him if we could shoot. Our battalion commander said, and I quote, "I don't know," end quote. Myself and my team leader asked very harshly, well, who does? Because this is your responsibility, sir. He again replied he did not know, but would find out. We received no update and never got our answer. Eventually, the individual disappeared. To this day, we believe he was a suicide bomber.
13 U.S. service members were killed in that blast at the Kabul airport. Rob Smith, your reaction first to this.
Well, my reaction to this, Cheryl, is that I watched every bit of that testimony yesterday, and I think that when we look back to all of the failures of the Biden administration, this is one of the most embarrassing things, right? It's the most embarrassing for America. It's the most embarrassing for our veterans, and I would love to see somebody held accountable for this. So I'm glad that, like the senator said, just like when we were talking about the coronavirus hearings, I'm glad that we actually have a Republican Congress that is in control and that is trying to get some answers to these things. And the question that I always have, and as a military veteran, and I hear a lot from active duty service members and people that have served before that are very, very angry about this, is somebody going to pay? We're going to get the answers, but is anything ever going to happen about this?
Senator Blackburn, your reaction to that question.
Well, I'm delighted you have Rob on the set, and I thank him for his service to our nation. And we had over 2,000 cases of Afghans that were needing to come out, our partners there. There are 200,000 that were left in the country. There were over 1,000 Americans that were left in the country, $7.2 billion worth of equipment. Cheryl, what happened in Afghanistan sent a message to the world that this administration was not going to be serious about letting our allies know that they were our friend and our enemies know that they were our enemies. They emboldened the Taliban You had Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin watching very carefully how we abandoned Afghanistan. Now you have women and girls that can't go to school. You have people that helped the American troops there. This testimony yesterday was devastating to the chain of command and the withdrawal and the commander-in-chief and how he approached what happened with that Afghanistan withdrawal.
Devastating to families of those that
Yes.
served in Afghanistan, devastating to our veterans themselves. Senator Marsha Blackburn, we do want answers. We know that you were going to be on this. We thank you so much for that in Washington. Senator Blackburn, thank you.